anything they
Hubbard's Marina, hosted by Captain Mike Anderson and Captain Dylan Hubbard.
Good morning, Tampa Bay. 970 WFLA, talking fishing. Going to be here until 8 o'clock.
Unfortunately, only till 8 o'clock.
I love that when it just happens. Do we actually have good weather?
We actually have good weather. It was looking even better, but I feel like you're bad luck or something.
What? Hold on.
It seems like every week I'm like, oh, I'm all pumped about the weather Friday. I do my weekend fishing report, and I'm talking about, oh, the weather's going to be awesome. And I wake up Saturday morning and come hang out with you, and it always seems to get a little worse.
What does that have to do
I don't know,
with
it's like 3 weeks in a row now, dog. It's crazy.
Dude.
I don't know what it is.
I think it's the weather, man. I don't think it has anything to do with Captain Mike.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm starting to draw connections here. No, but overall, the forecast looks really good. I mean, compared to how it's been, it's looking spectacular.
That's what I was thinking.
It was all dark blue yesterday, but now... No, I mean, Monday we get a little bit of a puff up, not much of anything really, but it starts to pick up a little bit into the weekend. We have a little bit of a south wind and then a little bit of a cold front. I would call it a cool front, maybe potentially Saturday, but not even really strong enough to kind of raise your eyebrows, but it's noticeable as far as the wind are concerned. But it only picks up right now, the advanced forecast, 10 to 15 mile an hour. So really not much of anything at all. But that's kind of a good thing. We want that pattern to continue, and it gets more moderate. So this time of year, we still get those little cool fronts. They're not cold fronts anymore. They don't have strength to them. But what they do is they change things over. They get that barometer moving. They take the humidity out of the air, and they lengthen that transition period. So
we could use that. A little dehumidifier, because it was humid yesterday.
It's going to be in the solid low 90s all week and bright and sunny. So, yeah, I would welcome a little bit of dehumidification as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I mean, it is Florida is preheating right now.
It is.
As the viral meme seems to be going around. It's pretty hilarious.
It's definitely heating up. We are headed towards summer, but there's lots and lots of good stuff to talk about. The tarpon poured in this week. Kingfish, we caught kingfish on the beach. Redfish and snook in the back. Fishing is absolutely ridiculous.
Offshore, amberjack opened up. I mean, it is time to get out there and take advantage. It's not too hot yet, but it's getting there.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot of people on the water yet, but they're getting there.
Yeah, it's summer is coming, so enjoy it while you can. Our weather update is always brought to you by our good friends at Reese Windows and Doors. You know, they're Florida's leading window and door company with over 50 years in business. They offer free installation of most windows and doors installed in just 6 weeks. Remember, they use in-house installers, no freelance contractors, and everything they do comes with a double lifetime warranty, which means you never pay for warranty, and when you sell your house, the warranty transfers to the new owners, which adds a value to your home. Visit reesewindows.com for more info. So we got a guest this morning joining us. Pretty excited. Actually going to have a guest tomorrow as well. But Joe Welbourn from Carbon Marine. Carbonmarine.com is the website. He is the push-pull guru. And a lot of you that suffer through my social media know that I'm a new skiff owner and pretty excited.
What?
Nothing. Why are you laughing?
That wasn't me.
Yeah, it was you. I got
Congratulations. Welcome to the shallow water.
Yeah, thanks, brother. Thanks. It's good to have you joining us this morning.
See, I'm outnumbered this morning, guys.
It's one of the things you don't think about. I was thinking about this on the way in. You don't, until you own a skiff, you don't really start to think about how important that tool is and having the right push-pull and how much that's going to make a difference for how that skiff pulls.
What's a push-pull?
I get that question a lot, interestingly. And
Really?
I do. I have people call me and they say, hey, I'm from somewhere up north, and not to take anything away from people up north, but there's not a lot of polling up there. And they're like, what is a push-pull?
Yeah.
It's like, well, you ever seen the guys in Italy, the gondolas? And they're like, oh, yeah. I said, it's kind of like that. Like, it's a way to move the boat around without a motor.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I start them.
He just mansplained it to me. I like it. Now I understand.
Simplify.
Yeah.
This is simplify.
No, it's a cool way of fishing for sure. I just
well, it's so stealthy. I mean, and it's always been something that because I love.
I hope everybody at home right now is picturing Captain Mike on a pulling platform trying to pull around a skiff, because that's what I'm picturing.
I did it for
That's
years.
why I keep laughing.
I did it some on tour back in the day, back when I was partnered up with Action
100 pounds
Craft.
lighter, maybe.
Yeah, but not 100. But you can still do it.
It's pretty strenuous. It's
work.
I call it yoga for men.
Yeah.
I mean, you get out there when it's blowing 10 or 15 oceanside, trying to hold a line with tarpon coming down, and your angler's yelling at you because you lost the bow into the wind. You'll have an appreciation for core
Dude,
strength when you're
I'm
done.
telling you right now, Rob Fordyce,
he's a machine.
Sea Hunter.
Oh, he's a machine.
I'm telling you, real good friend of mine. If you don't know who Rob is, you just Google Rob Fordyce.
This is funny because on this topic at the gym the other day, someone was like, are you trying to become an inshore guide? I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, when I go to the Keys, you can walk down the docks and tell the inshore guides from the offshore guides by looking at them. And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, well, in the Keys, everybody push pulls.
Yeah.
So the inshore guides are all really fit and svelte, and the offshore guys, not so much.
Right.
I was like, huh. And so I walked away like confused, but now it's making sense.
Dude, the last
now
time
I'm talking to you, it makes sense.
The last time I was in the Keys filming, went down to film a tarpon show, and what I always do is when I go to do the Keys, I usually drive down in the morning. Takes you about 6 hours to get down there, and then I can film the
Maybe the way you drive.
I can film the afternoon.
That's right.
Right? So I get down there, and it's honking. Like, it's even Greg Poland, the Captain Greg that I was filming with, was like, we're going to go take a look at it, but we'll see. Dude, we come around the corner from the bridge we were fishing, looking for tarpon,
White
and
caps.
Fordyce is on his polling platform, polling his fly customer in white caps.
Nice.
I'm like, is that Fordyce? He goes, yeah, that's Rob. I'm like, are you kidding me, bro? I mean, dude, it was whether I wouldn't even think about taking the skiff out in, let alone get up on the polling platform.
That's
now,
awesome.
Fordyce is a freak of nature. I mean,
Yeah,
he's a big dude.
And he's been doing it
Yeah, for
arguably
100
from birth.
and,
if you go
yeah.
back to the old Walker K Chronicles,
One
with
of the
Flip,
best,
you
yeah.
see some video of
For
Ford
sure.
Ice as a kid on the bow.
Yeah, him and Flip Howard are super tight. And just it gives you a whole new appreciation for it. It really does. And they hooked fish, which was really mind blowing. I'm like, dude, you put him on a fish in that wind on the platform?
Wow.
That's crazy, dude. Crazy skill set.
Really quick story. There's a kind of a controversial spot known as Craig Key outside Oceanside, Lower Metacumby. And it's so controversial. It's such a good spot. It's like arguably one of the best spots to tarpon fish on fly in the Keys. And it's so controversial. They're not allowed to fish it during certain tournaments.
Oh, okay.
The high-level tournaments like the Gold Cup. So I have a friend from Brazil. We were out there in HPX 17. Another buddy of mine that's won the Gold Cup 3 years running. And phenomenal tarpon angler. So we're coming out of Long Key. We were in a rental house coming out of Long Key Bite. And they're like, man, there's nobody on Craig Key. But it's blowing like 20. And Dave's like, oh, I can cast on that. Let's go. So we get out there. Nobody's on the spot. We get out there. We get on the spot. And within just a few minutes, he's hooked up to like a 120-pound tarpon. Waves are coming over the bow. And Jerison, my buddy's holding the, it's definitely a totally different mindset. Those guys, they don't care about the win.
Right.
Just get out there and go.
And just to be, the little bit of push pulling that I've done, I did some in the Keys. So we were down there fishing a pro redfish tournament. We had a 16-foot Action Craft. I was with Action Craft at the time. So long ago it's been. And just push pulling up on those fish is unbelievable, bro.
Was this you and Billy in a 16?
It was actually me and Captain Woody Gore.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wow, that goes way back.
Way back.
I was thinking about that this morning when I woke up. And I was like, how long have I known Mike Anderson? I went back, I was like, well, I've been watching him before I started the company. I'm 18 years in, so.
Well, we're at season 18, so.
Yeah, you guys have been grinding for a while.
Yeah, we've been grinding for a while, for sure. But it just, it's a really neat way to sneak up on fish. I'm telling you, you being just such an avid angler, I think you would, just to run around back there behind Hubbard's, I think you would absolutely appreciate that little boat.
Oh, no, I would love it. I'm being facetious.
I know you. I'm just saying, it's really, I've wanted one, and even my wife, when I first got it, I went and spent a whole day on it filming in Crystal River shortly after I got it. And I was on my way out of there that night, and she was like, well, I'm like, well, what? She goes,
but in the summertime around here, what do you do in a skiff like that? I mean, generally just, again, not being super educated on super skinny water, but like, isn't that a wintertime stuff?
Fish the beach.
Oh, no, it's year round.
Fish the beach. You got tarpon on the beach. You got snook in all those little nooks and crannies, and you get a big bay boat up there pushing that big wake. People don't realize what a big push of energy you get in a 26-foot bay boat. And listen, I love my Contender Bay.
So you're just displacing less water.
You're displacing less water. You're creeping up there. You got no trolling motor.
Shadow.
Yeah. So it's smaller footprint in the water. It's not pushing that big pressure thing. And in an area like Tampa Bay, with all the pressure that we get, it makes a big difference if you get good
especially
at it.
When those snook are up on the beach, like on that west side of Shell Key is what I'm
exactly
most familiar with.
Where my brain was.
Yeah, and they're in that trough. If you breathe on them wrong, they're out of there.
100%.
So that's what you're talking about.
You've watched the really, really good ones, and there's always a few on the beach working the beach. There's guides who work the beach so well, it's unbelievable, and they do it from skiffs where they can just pull it along. Yeah, it's
my favorite time to tarpon fish. I mean, I get pounded during tarpon season, which usually starts around the first week of April. Everybody starts going to the Keys, and I get pretty busy. I don't get to tarpon fish, and it's turkey season. I turkey hunt a lot, so I'm kind of really wrapped around the axle. But my favorite time to tarpon fish is July.
I like this guy.
When everybody's been beat up on the beaches, the migratory fish are gone. And, I'm probably going to get some heat for this, but in the back in like McKay Bay and Old Hillsborough Bay, late July, I had a guy, his family set up some car washes here locally. They're from Tennessee, and young guy. You can't make this up, but his name's Shady Gambler. And I thought, man, your parents had a sense of humor, but really good guy, right?
That's
awesome. So he's like, hey,
yeah.
I've never caught a tarpon on fly, and I'm down here until September. This was like end of July. And I said, I got a recipe for you. It's like, I told him where to go, what time to be there, what to do, how to get in a skiff, come up on this shoal. You got to be there before the sun comes up. So I laid it all out, showed him. So go do this, be ready. And you can just tell he's looking at me like, yeah, buddy, sure I will. Because this is not where you would think there's big tarpon.
Yeah.
And he disappears, and he comes back about 8 and 9 months later to buy something. He comes into the office, and he looks at me. He's like, I kind of thought you were full of crap when you told me to go do all this stuff, but I did what you told me, and I caught a 120-pound tarpon on fly.
Wow.
In eyesight of downtown Tampa.
I got news for you. Little news alert. Sharing some Mahoney kind of stuff. September in the Hillsborough River.
Epic.
In front of the convention center.
Epic.
I had one of the single greatest tarpon bites I've ever been on, and they were all 35 to 40 pounders. They were flying like popcorn. It was 3 of us were up there. 3 guides were up there emptying our live wells on an outgoing tide. Dude, they were blasting pilchards into the sky. It was incredible.
Yeah, it's
absolutely
a really
incredible.
good fishery.
There's
late summer.
there's a lot of good bites. We got to go take a break here. Joe Welbourn, Carbon Marine is our guest today. CarbonMarine.com, talking some fly fishing, talking push poles, talking skiffs, talking about all the great fishing that's going on. Your questions, comments, fishing reports, bring them right here. Phone lines are open, 1-800-969-9352. Light them up. We'll be back.
From the Buddhist monk, the monastery there, up to that next. There's a guy with a biplane keeps on the side of the river.
Just so you know, we are live on break, so everybody can still hear you.
That's Mike Messer.
Yeah.
The biplane's
fishing's
Messer.
incredible. Yeah.
Yeah, he lives right there up the river up the palm. The palm gets loaded. The problem with the palm is I call the palm the fish that don't eat. Because you can go there 10 times in a row and the bitches won't chew nothing. And you'll go there another time and they'll just go crazy.
I've been there trying to get them on fly by myself, sitting down eating a sandwich, and they come off a bottom and just like the sharks on the seals in South Africa, just crushing the schools of mullet. I mean, completely bleaching coming out of the water. You got to free line a mullet. Or cut one and put it on.
That's what
that
guy does down in southeast Florida in the canals, in those back canals. He slow trolls mullet.
Dude, all the stuff I've done with Greg Poland at the bridges down the Keys, it's all mullet.
Yeah.
You put some live mullets and some chunk mullet out behind the boat into the current and just sit there.
Yeah. Big snook too.
River,
you can get some monsters just dead sticking on the bottom.
Well, and you know what the big trick here is? This will get us in all kinds of trouble. You know what the big trick here is? A lot of guys do catfish.
Oh yeah. I was gonna say
catfish on the bottom. Dude, they catch catfish, cut them up like butterfly them, get that stink, and just fish them on the bottom.
Yep.
Cut the spines off.
I don't know how they. I'm not messing with them. I'm not fishing with catfish.
That's a very, very common technique.
Yeah, big time.
River and the bypass canal.
Big time. Yeah, there's some of it that goes on right down by my marina. A couple of guys.
I've heard that for amberjack offshore before. I tried it once.
No luck.
No, but I don't know if you have to cut the spines off or not.
I don't know either.
When we would use the catfish, you just come in behind the spine, pull a fillet off with the skin, and it'll keep the skin so rubbery, it'll keep it all intact on the hook. And you want that surface area because that's what gets the smell and oils and odor out.
Yeah, Captain Terry Russo does it all the time. I just can't. My ADD won't let me sit and fish like that.
Yeah,
I just can't do it.
Yeah, it's kind of
just waiting for a bite. I can't. This sucks. I got to see them, and I want to move, and I want to try to set the sun up right so they're not getting blinded. I mean, there's so much that goes into tarpon fishing that people don't think about. You know, you watch guys on the beach, and they're attacking that pod from the wrong angle, especially on our beaches. Yes. If that bait's in the wrong spot, when that fish turns as they're milling and coming down the beach, he's looking into the sun. His eyeball's that big. Yep. He can't see nothing. They don't even see it. You have to present that bait away from the sun so when they turn, they can see it. If they're looking into the sun, they won't see it. Stuff that most people don't even think about. You know, they're just constantly casting that.
No, definitely. Andy Mill goes into a lot of deep analysis of how to present, and
his podcast is awesome.
Yeah, you never drag it more than 90. You want it all. You're going back to fly. You want to always take it away. If you got a daisy chain or you've got them coming in a good string, shoot for maybe the second fish,
Right.
because he knows there's a fish in front of him. But if you pull it away from the second fish behind the first fish, he thinks the first fish missed it, and they're more inclined to eat the fly.
There's a lot that goes
A lot
into
of
it.
nuance.
Yep, a lot that goes into it. We've caught a
I
lot
want to
of.
snook fish on the beach right now.
What's that?
Said I want to go snook fish on the beach right now. Dude, it's so silly at the pass. It's I yelled at my staff, staff at Hubbard's Marina. They keep by the bait tank. There's like a slit in the dock now where the dock's separated from the seawall a little bit. So instead of walking around and dumping it into the slit, they're just dumping it between the seawall and the slit. So the snook are now tucked up against the seawall underneath this dock structure. You can't get to them. I was like, you guys got to walk over
Recondition them.
here,
Yeah, you gotta
drop
recondition them.
these dead shrimp right here for me. now it's just like a feeding frenzy. You drop a handful of dead shrimp in there and they're nuts.
That's awesome. Welcome back. Putting a shout out to our good friends at Affordable Roofing Systems.
Whether you need a shingle, metal tile, or a flat roof, our friends at Affordable Roofing Systems are your safest choice for repairs or replacements. Over 3 decades of roofing experience, they're defined by integrity, respect, and honesty, and have a professional approach to doing business. Give them a call today at 1-888-397-ROOF for your free estimate, or visit them online at affordableroofingflorida.com. Tuesday, May 14th, it's coming up. We are at Bartow Ford for the Bartow Ford Real Animals Fishing Conversation. And yes, the Mogan Man, Captain Blair Wiggins, will be my guest. It's going to be a great one. If you've never had the opportunity to hear Blair speak and get into some of his fishy banter, this is a great opportunity for you. He's a dandy. Good friend of mine. We've been friends a long time. Been in the TV business well over 25 years now. Addictive Fishing, you know the name. I mean, there's only one Mogan Man. So come on out and join us. We got Silver Ring Cafe just serving up the food. We got Bull Bay rods, Ingle coolers to give away, real animal swag, 6 to 8 p.m. Tuesday, May 14th at Bartow Ford. Make sure you come on out and join us for Captain Blair Wiggins. The Mogan Man joins us. This morning, Joe Welbourn with Carbon Marine, carbonmarine.com. He is the push-pull guru, at least in the Southeast. I guess there isn't push poles anywhere else. So you're like the guy.
It's a really small market. So the kind of the OG of push poles was Stiffy.
Oh,
right?
yeah, for sure.
Company's called Fibertex, and they're out of Corpus Christi, Texas, and they got a foothold in Florida because back before the financial crisis of 2008, we had a lot of redfish tournaments over here. And
Sure.
the guy that owns the company was a big redfish tournament guy.
That's how I met him.
Yeah, so they'd shuttle poles over and leave it with a couple of different dealers. But the push pole epicenter of the world is Florida.
Yeah.
Like we pull more people pull in Florida than any other geographical area. We sell a few up in the Northeast. That's becoming more popular. They pull for striper and carp, real common.
Yeah.
And then we send a lot offshore. I've got one very affluent lodge in the Seychelles Islands. They buy about $15,000-$20,000 a year.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We'll crate them up and ship them over there, and we send quite a few to Mexico.
Now, how do they go bad? We've only got about 2 minutes. This is our short segment before the bottom of the hour. But how did push poles go bad? You end up snapping them?
A lot of times user error. 99% of the time it's user error. Push poles are not.
I feel like I'd break one really fast.
Yeah, they don't like perpendicular force. All that means is anything comes in from the side, they're designed to the load to go straight, right? So anything that puts a lot of bend, or we call it radius or scope, gunnels. Here's the top 3. Gunnels, you poles. You're watching the fish. The pole's on the ground. You're holding it. The wind catches you. The current catches you, and the energy. The gunnel hits the boat and breaks them. Second, car washes. Very, very common, because the push pole sticks over the bow of the boat. When the truck boat system pivots or hinges off of the ball, the pole is now out front, and when it turns, it sweeps, so it grabs the hose for the brush above you, and then the hose hits the first push pole holder and snaps it. Extremely common. Third is docks. People pull up to the dock. They're not paying attention. The jet skier behind you is not paying attention. We all know the docks can be a circus.
You think?
That's the top
He said
three
jet
ways.
ski.
Yeah.
We all know what you mean.
Yeah. And then they are not infallible. Even though they're expensive, they do break. They all break.
Interesting. Yeah.
I want to go fish the beach.
I'm telling you. I think you and I, we need to get on the skiff. I know you
That
don't
would
think
make
it
a
could
show.
happen. We could do it.
Yeah.
We could do it.
We both get to one side
You're
of that
young,
boat.
though. You
It's
got to
going
push
over.
for me.
Let's do it.
I'm playing that card.
All right.
CarbonMarine.com. Joe Welbourn is our guest this morning. If you've got questions about push poles, he is the push pole guru. If you've got a fishing report for us, we would love to hear that as well. We've got Captain Bobby Woodard here on the call screen. He'll be up on the other side. We're talking fishing. We'll be back, 970 WFLA.
From the news desk.
Traffic and weather. Top and
Yeah.
Was he fishing at night or on that? He was fishing that outgoing yesterday afternoon.
It's all nighttime from the photos.
Really? That's boring.
It's dark.
Dark.
Yeah, Jared Simonetti.
Yeah, I know Jared, sure.
He worked for me years and years ago. I mean, I think he just got his driver's license. And him and another guy that worked for me, they would go out at night. And he had this system with a PVC pipe. He'd wrap a rope. And he had an old, I think he had a pro liner. And he'd take that and he'd tie off to the Gandy. Tampa side. And they'd come dragging out. Wreck them. Absolutely wreck them.
A lot of guys, Jim Lemke, a lot of guys are really good at that bridge. Ronnie from Ron's Tackle Box.
Visit your local Lexus dealer or go to Lexus.com to find the dealer nearest you.
Come on, Angel, that's not nice. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw it.
Make sure you have Josh video that. Come on. Oh, Jerry Rathy's out of Pulley Ridge, huh? Wow.
We're supposed to get our
Travis
Starlink
Yankel.
installed very soon. I'm excited.
Yeah? That way they can chirp in from
Offshore.
the boonies.
Live stream.
Starlink on the boat.
Yeah, dude, it's so common now. Like, almost every time we go live on TikTok, they're like, when are you going to install Starlink so you can go live from offshore? Because now it's like a thing.
Yeah.
Everybody's installing them on their offshore boats and live streaming their fishing trips. It's pretty cool.
I looked into it for hunting camp. It's actually pretty reasonable.
Very reasonable.
Yeah, for
Crazy
Yeah.
for what you get.
and,
Nice.
and simple. Like
Yeah.
15, 20 minute setup. Like
Yeah.
really easy.
It's not like the old satellite dish
You
days.
had to be an astrophysicist to figure out
Yeah.
which satellite to hit.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, dude. You could do it. You could set it up
Oh,
on your hunting trailer.
What's
We
it
had
do then? Just video camp itself?
No, the Starlink just gives you internet. And then once you
Oh.
have internet in the
yeah,
business,
you
you
got
can do
internet.
whatever
You
you
just stream it.
want with
Yeah,
internet.
you stream it.
Yeah, so if you wanted internet connection at hunt camp.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how much is it?
It depends on how much service you want. Just like anything. It's like a cell phone plan. How much data
I
do
think
you
the
want?
one I looked at was like $149 a month, and it was like $500 if you bought like a new kit, or $350 if you bought a refurb kit. You know, like a kit somebody had returned or something.
Yeah.
For the equipment. Yeah, it's
I
pretty
just don't
reasonable.
want to spend $150 a month on a month you're not there.
Yeah.
You want to do it just
You can turn it on and off.
yeah. See
Yeah,
if
they
you
have
could just
options.
do
Take
it.
it
If
with
you could just do it October to February,
Yeah.
that'd be great.
They do month to month options. It's a little bit more money, but
Then you could hook it right up to your TV and just go digital on the TV like you do with your, with YouTube
Yeah, where
TV
we
and all
hunt in
that.
Georgia,
Yeah,
you're
we
lucky
got
to get anything.
yeah.
Like you're lucky.
Well,
to
we're putting aluminum covers over the top of our trailers, so your antenna won't even do you any good
That's
now.
right, yeah.
Well, I'll have no TV probably when I get up there next time. And I only had 6 BS channels anyway.
Although sometimes I go to camp to get away from all.
Well, I only like to get the weather.
well, exactly.
When you get up in the morning, turn TV on
To know
just
what
to
you're
get the
up
weather.
against,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, you can kind of tell because you're in a trailer, but I want to know how long is it going
You
to
don't
warm
have
up
cell
today,
phone
or is it going to stay?
reception?
Yeah, yeah, you have cell phone reception, which
you
may
still turn, you
Which-
still turn on the
National.
TV to get weather.
no, you can pull it up, but dude,
We-
you're in the
we
middle of
want-
nowhere.
We wanted it I'm not a football guy. My
It's just
brother's a
nice to
football
have-
guy.
yeah.
I'm a NASCAR guy, so if it's Sunday afternoon, I'm waiting
Yeah.
around and just watch the race.
Yeah, we watch the football games will be on too. Monday Night Football and all that will be on. Just because you only have a couple of the local channels, but you turn it on and you're like, oh, cool, there's a football game. So yeah, I get tired of talking to Ben. Want to hear a different voice.
Thanks, Angel.
Yeah, 1,000 stars.
1,200.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. God bless her.
Yeah, she's in our supporters group.
That's very cool.
She's a great cook.
Yeah.
Sends great photos of all her awesome food.
Old Mother Hubbard.
Mm-hmm.
Calling in Van Hubbard on the list too here.
Yeah, that's who I was on the phone with when I pulled up in the parking lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's got good kingfish and mackerel news for
Dude,
us.
the kingfish bite was good this week.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of. I mean,
He
not a
says
lot of.
there's more fish coming.
Really. Nice.
We caught some in Fort Pierce.
Yeah, it was
We
pretty.
went over there Saturday afternoon. We're trying to fish Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We finally got on the water Wednesday, and within an hour, we had a couple of probably 15, 17-pound mahi and kings.
Wow.
It's
That's
awesome.
good. Yeah.
In a skiff.
No. I don't know if you've ever seen the inlet at
It's
Fort Pierce.
nasty.
It's like hollow, dude.
yeah.
It can get really
Stacks
nasty.
up quick.
Yeah, it stacks up.
I had my my aqua traction winners for the trip I gave away. Steve and Nancy Colgan. I
Yeah.
had them on the boat, and Nancy had said, I said, hey, we can snookfish, redfish, or we can kingfish, or some kingfish. She had never caught a kingfish, so we went out and did that, and then came inshore and caught some, ended up catching some snook and redfish anyway.
That's awesome.
Welcome back, 6:35 here at the iHeart Media Empire. Joe Welbourn.
Our guest this morning, Carbon Marine, carbonmarine.com. He is the push-pull guru, pretty much in the entire southeastern United States. So if you are in the market for a push-pull, if you have questions about push-pulls, what's the way to go? He is the guy to contact or give us a shout. Want to put a quick shout-out to Relentless Perpetual Edge Knives. You know, they're the world's first self-sharpening knife. It sharpens as it cuts. It's absolutely ridiculous. You got to check these bad boys out. Come in 5 great models, great balance, great handles, just a great knife all the way around. RelentlessKnivesUSA.com is the website. Check those bad boys out. Let's go to the phone lines here. We got a couple backed up. Let's check in with Captain Bobby Woodard, who's been beaten on the tarpon here already. Captain Bobby, how are you?
Wonderful. How are you guys?
We're good, buddy. What's going on, man?
Yeah, I just wanted to call and give you a quick little report. Anna and my friend and I went out last night after dinner and just a quick little 3-hour fun fishing trip. It wasn't super stellar, but we did okay once we realized we accidentally tied on some rubber hooks at the beginning of the trip. 3 hours, we ended up hooking 9, landing 4. So had a nice little quick fun trip and left them biting and came on back to the house.
That's a pretty good.
awesome.
That's a pretty good 3-hour trip, actually. 4 for 9's not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
The post dinner yacht wear trip.
Yeah.
He always sends me photos where he's all dressed up. It's like, I don't get it.
He's the yacht wear guy.
Boca
get it.
Grande tarpon guides.
Oh yeah, yeah. I get it.
Hey man, you got to dress the part, right?
You got to look good doing it, I guess.
Gotta go sleeveless, dog. All the pictures.
If I were you or Dylan, I could pull off the sleeveless look, but yeah, I'm not quite there yet.
I was such a knothead back in the day when I first started guiding, almost 24 years ago. All my pictures of my early Boca Grande years, I'm out there, gray sleeveless T-shirt, just taking in the sun like a moron, you know,
Nice.
just
Straight
cooking
from
out
Wisconsin.
There. Yeah, you look like a cheesehead.
just like our old buddy Dino, Dean Parks.
Yeah, Dean Parks.
Dino was always a sleeveless
Dino was
guy as
always
well.
sleeveless. Bo Johnson, sleeveless.
back in the day.
But
Yeah.
hell, Bo just takes his shirt off.
Oh, yeah.
He's just topless, not sleeveless.
You're right. You're right. Good stuff. Good stuff.
times,
Hey,
man.
great call,
Good times.
brother. We appreciate you. Tell everybody how they can get a hold of you if they want to come down there and book a tarpon trip.
The best looking guy
Sure,
in Boca Grande.
There's a dress code. There's a dress code on Bobby's boat.
Yeah, you got to have a button down and pastel shorts.
Oh Lord! So phone call is the best way. Just 863-224-1418, or check out the website captain-bobby.com.
One of the best guys in the business for sure. We appreciate you, Bobby, for sure, brother. Thanks for the call. And are you going to come join us out there at Bartow Ford? You going to come see
Yes,
the
sir.
Mogan Man?
Yep.
Yeah, that'll be a good one, dude.
Absolutely.
Good.
I haven't seen Blair in a long time, so it'd be nice to catch up with him. And anybody who hasn't ever talked to him or listened to him before needs to come on out and check it out. They'll definitely walk away with some knowledge.
Yeah, that'll have a good time for sure. Look forward to seeing you, my brother. Thanks for the call, kid.
All righty, guys, take care.
All right,
See you,
partner.
buddy.
Good stuff right there. Let's check in with our freshwater guru here real quick. Let's go out to Lake Alfred and Ron at Ron's Tackle Box. Ronnie, how are you this morning?
Doing great this morning. Weather's pretty pleasant. It's not too hot yet, but it's going to warm up for us here today. But we had a pretty good week. A lot of shellcracker, bluegill, and the surrounding lakes here. Big bass this week on Lake Rochelle, which is in Lake Alfred, a 7-pound.
Ooh,
Caught on the booyah.
There it is.
With crankbait.
the booyah.
I'm telling you, if you want to catch a nice bass, come out here and grab one of them baits. If there's a fish anywhere near you, you'll have it with that bait. I guarantee you.
It's definitely the most loved on real animals bass bait there is, probably. That and the Strike King cutter worm. I'm a big cutter worm guy, so
Yeah.
I get it.
But yeah, we had a good time this week. So the people that went did very well.
Good.
But
Good,
like
good.
I say, the shellcracker bites on real good. Some real nice sized ones down here. Come on out if you get a chance. Fishing piers here, plenty of them for people without a boat, and people with a boat. I can guide you in the right spot.
What are the shellcrackers eating? Is that a cricket thing or a worm thing or what are
Crickets are good. Red worms seem to be the best.
they? Okay.
So a good, nice red worm, push fish on the bottom. If you can find any kind of a little drop off or just a small hole somewhere, you'll catch them.
All right.
Running water's the best, but we haven't had that. So
Yeah, it's coming.
yeah,
I'm
you
sure.
get some of that, it's on then.
Yeah, once that humidity gets right, it's going to help out our tarpon fishing too. The crabs flush better once we start to
It's
get
a little delayed.
little bit of rain.
Another couple weeks. This
Yep.
weather pattern will stay the same. We'll get that rain starting up.
Yeah.
Those afternoon thunderstorms.
Absolutely.
humugity for sure. All right, Ronnie, we appreciate you,
You and
brother.
your made up words.
I make them all up. It's all good. I'm not smart enough to use big words like you, so I got to make up little ones. Let's tell everybody how they can find you out there, Ronnie.
All right, I'm at 380 South Lake Shore Way, which is 1792 in Lake Alfred, out here in Polk County. Phone number 863-956-4990.
You are the freshwater guru, and we appreciate you, my brother.
Thanks, guys. Have a great week.
All right,
See you,
partner,
buddy.
you too. Good stuff. You know, when he sells that place, we're going to miss him.
Yeah.
Because he's going to be retired, and then we'll have to find a new freshwater guru.
Yeah,
which
he'll
would be hard
still
to
be
do.
hanging out there.
You think he just won't leave?
He's already told whoever buys the place he'll hang out and help him run it.
Yeah, but that won't last forever.
He's still going to be around. I mean, you could tell he's that type of guy.
He's a lifer.
Yeah,
Well, you know, he had a bait and tackle store here
exactly.
in Tampa, and then he went out there to Lake Alfred, and
Whole
now
different market.
Now he's a freshwater guru.
Yeah, and he's into antique tackle. He's into collection. And he's not going anywhere. He'll be in it. He's in the game.
It's a Hubbard's
He's on
family.
the path.
It's like the Hubbard's family. Once you're in the fishing business, you're just in it.
There's only
can't
one
leave.
way out of this game.
Let's check in with another legendary Hubbard. Let's check in with Van Hubbard from down in Boca Grande. Van, how are you this morning, bud?
Buddy, I'm wonderful. How could you not be in this beautiful weather?
I hear you,
Amen.
brother. I hear you. I hear you. No doubt. It's getting there. It's going to be hot here soon. It was a little warm yesterday afternoon on the dock at Tampa Yacht Club for
Little
the
bit.
TGH tournament. Yeah, it was a little warm, but it's getting right, no doubt. How's that tarpon bite down there?
Well, The tarpon bite's good. The water's almost too clear. It's just drop dead gorgeous, beautiful. So it's great for seeing everything. Some people are into the crowds, been there, done that. What I've been chasing is mackerel, and actually a lot of little king mackerel showed up, which is a real good sign for the future. I'm just taking my old drone spoons and my number one planer and going out there and creating a little breeze, trolling around about 5 or 6 knots and catching me some finest kind 2 to 4 pound Spanish mackerel and a lot of little kings, even a couple of keepers by accident. So it's really optimistic looking for the future and something good to eat. And we're going to put some on the smoker this afternoon, make me up some fish dip.
You know what?
It ain't as good as Timmy Knockman's, but it's the best I can do.
It's interesting that it just because I had the same bite this week. Like when we hit the offshore stuff, when we got to the hard bottom, it was a lot of action, and it didn't seem to be a lot of. Although we saw a couple big skyrockets from some bigger fish, the boat in front of us caught a little bit bigger one, maybe a 30-pounder, but a lot of small, what I call schoolie kings. A lot of small schoolie kings mixed in with some really nice Spanish mackerel. There was some bonita out there, some sharks kind of working the boats. I mean, it was a really
sharks. A lot of sharks.
A lot of sharks. It was really, really good to see. I mean, there was quite a bit of fish. I mean, we had a lot of fish still here in May, so I think that's good.
We have no idea what we're doing out there. I mean, there's so much.
Amen.
There's so much to it, and I think fisheries are really cyclical. And I think we generally, when I say we, I think just in general with fishery science and management, we have these snap reactions. And when I call them snap reactions, but in reality, it takes 6 years to make rule changes. But we constantly are chasing our tails. And then all of a sudden the fishery does something, and you're like, this doesn't make any sense. Kingfish and mackerel are a great example.
Right.
It's like people have been screaming about it. Something's wrong, something's wrong, something's wrong. And now all of a sudden they're starting to come back, and we're seeing all these small fish. Nothing's changed. We haven't done anything.
Right.
It's just all of a sudden these fish are showing up. Where'd they come from? How'd they get here?
Well, and I think we take out of the equation so much. You take out of there the water quality, the water temperature. We take so much of that out of our initial, what we're catching, what we're seeing, and this is what it is, and this is how it is, instead of analyzing everything that's going on.
And especially for a species that's a coastal migratory pelagic.
For sure.
I mean, they swim. That's
Right.
what they do.
Yeah.
They move heavily.
Quickly,
And
yes.
when you say water quality, you got to think about the whole environment as ecosystem as a whole. Off of Louisiana, you have that huge hypoxic zone. Off of Texas, they have not only red tide, but they also have brown algae and these huge brown algae blooms. So really, Gulf-wide, the whole system is having water quality issues. I mean, look back at the BP oil spill.
Right.
What in the world did that do to the Gulf?
Sure.
We still don't know.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah. And again, there's something to be said for that. We get in these wild, crazy, and Joe, I'm sure, being a push-pull guy, fly guy, you think about how many grass flats in Tampa Bay that, 25 years ago was incredible. Then you go through a little stretch where the grass leaves. I'm sure you've seen it down in Boca Grande. You got, incredible grass flat, and then all of a sudden it's gone, and you're like, okay, what the heck just happened to this flat? Now it's kind of barren and doesn't look so good. And then 5 years later, you go back there, and it's all lush again. I mean, is it some kind of cycle? I mean, what do you think, Van?
Well, there's a lot of factors involved. Water quality. On the kingfish and mackerel thing, I think our bad red tides a few years back really affected them.
Sure.
And even if they did come through the red tide, they don't have a bladder, so they sink. So you never see them until, you never see them. They go down to the bottom. And with red tide and bad weather, a lot of fish have gone around us for several years.
Sure.
But water quality, the grass flats, the habitat, that's the nursery, and it's where the food is. And if you don't have food, nobody's stopping.
Right.
If you don't have food, they're just moving on by.
Right. I always say they don't build a neighborhood where there's no McDonald's.
And it all goes back to first principles. I learned this from the Bonefish Tarpon Trust, listening to, I believe it's Dr. Jerry Alt, who does incredible research on tarpon. And they put tags on tarpon, and they follow them all over the place. And it goes back to the basics. Fish are just like us. They want to feel secure, they want to be comfortable, and they want to eat.
Yeah.
Like it's not rocket science.
Right.
So you take away the food, make the water too hot or too cold, create a threat, artificial or otherwise.
Sharks.
And they're going to move.
Right.
I wouldn't live in a neighborhood where I had to worry about what I'm going to eat. Somebody going to shoot me when I walk outside.
Right.
My house is hot as hell. I'm going to move.
Sure. No doubt.
Or it's too cold.
Or too cold. Yeah.
Yeah. No doubt. No doubt about
I mean,
it.
I think it goes back to what I say a lot in fishing seminars is you got to think like a fish, and I think we overthink things way too much.
Yeah.
Boil it down.
Great point. Great point.
Yeah. for sure.
Overthinking.
Yeah, no doubt.
The reward has to justify the effort. If the food isn't big enough to overcompensate for the effort, you can't afford to do it.
Right. Van Hubbard, great call as always. Good to hear your voice, my brother. Keep catching them up down there. Nobody does it better than you, kid.
Have a great time, guys, and let's go fishing.
Sounds good, brother.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you. He is one of the best. One of the best. I remember just being in awe about him when I first met him. He's been doing it a long time at a really, really high level. Super impressive. Bill Wilbourn, Carbon Marine. CarbonMarine.com is our guest this morning. We're talking push poles. We're talking fishing, all kinds. Any questions, comments, fishing reports? Phone lines are open. 1-800-969-9352. Light these phone lines up. Let's talk about
We're starting to see it with bonefish down south. There for a while, geez, you couldn't buy a bonefish.
Yeah, it was tough.
I mean, it was really tough. And one of my best friends, he's like a brother. His name's Captain Don Gable. He's been fishing down there for 20 years. And he finally he moved up here. He's in Homosassa now, but we're finally starting to get bonefish back on the flats.
That's
And
good.
There's been a lot of bonefish caught in Tampa Bay recently.
Yeah, big time. Especially to the
Someone
south.
sent me a photo the other day. They're like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
They didn't know what it was. It was a big bonefish.
Minnesota?
Yeah.
It's pretty
Show
common
key.
in Minnesota. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
I don't
catching
know
them a
how
lot
or why.
from our ferry.
I don't know
There was a
either.
lady I was delivered a pole to in West Palm Beach. This was a couple, 3 or 4 years ago, and she's like, "Yeah, we catch bonefish right here off the dock." I'm like, "Really?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "That's kind of odd."
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, they're definitely becoming more plentiful up the coast here for sure.
Snook moving north too.
Oh yeah, yeah. I did one of my favorite snook shows of all time up in Horseshoe Beach.
I was gonna say Yankeetown has historically kind of been the demarcation.
Bro, I'm telling
that,
you, dude.
That barge canal.
They're getting
There's some
there's
monsters in there.
really big fish up now, up all the way up to Horseshoe Beach, and fishing, catching them in deep water in 20 foot of water, bouncing giant jigs on the bottom and just
Really?
getting stroked. I shot a show with Danny Allen up there.
Huh.
We crushed them, marked them on the side imaging, and
Wow.
just thumped them. It was crazy.
Didn't you just open the season?
It's just
I don't follow this.
Snook season.
Harvest
I
that
think it
release.
closed
Just-
May
it's
2nd.
it's closed, yeah.
For our area at least. For Tampa Bay.
It's always closed for me. I don't let people kill them anyway.
I don't harvest it anymore.
Yeah, we just don't have enough big keeper fish anymore. And if we do, they're hiding somewhere, and I can't find them. I mean, we catch a few, but not like we used to. You just don't see them like you used to. You used to see them big pods on the
There's a bunch
flats.
in the Palm.
Oh no, I mean, I'm not saying we don't have any.
There's not as prevalent as they used to.
Yeah. I mean, and again, maybe we've moved them. You know, Mahoney's a big theory guy that we've moved them, pushed them all out to the center of the bay. But you would think you'd catch a few more of them, grouper fishing and all that stuff, if that was all the case. And I've caught some deep.
Well,
I've
we
caught some
lost
on the markers and
a
stuff.
lot of fish with that freeze. What year was that?
2010.
2010.
2010.
2010.
I mean, that was.
It was.
We did a trip. We were actually on our way to the second bay at Lossman's on a houseboat, and we got there like 3 days after that freeze. And this is at the Lossman. And it looked
Yeah.
like somebody had taken a blowtorch and burned the bank. There was dead manatees, dead alligator or crocodiles. I mean, just
cold.
I think we caught. Colby Hain caught one trout for like 3 days of fishing. It was brutal.
Yeah, that's rough.
But that's been long enough that we should have recovered. I didn't realize it'd been that long.
That is rough.
That's where you'd really enjoy your skiff. Go down to Flamingo.
Oh, I want to. I've got a couple guys down there. I'm going.
And they opened up the hotel at Flamingo now too.
Did they?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to go down there.
I haven't been there since they opened the hotel, but I've got some friends that have stayed there, and they said it's really nice.
God.
And I think they put in a restaurant too, so you can. Problem with Flamingo is it's an hour from the gate.
Oh, no doubt.
You're committed. You
Yeah.
have your
Yeah,
activity.
for sure.
But the fishing is.
It's like Venice. If you're going to Venice, there's nothing but.
You gotta want it.
Yeah.
Now your captains, Mike Anderson and Dylan Hubbard.
Welcome back. Short segment before the top of the hour here. I want to put a shout out to our good friends at Ace Heating and Cooling. You know their name that you can trust in the heating and air conditioning business here in Hillsborough County. You've been able to trust them for over 20 years now. Chris Myers and his guys service all brands. They do residential and commercial repairs, maintenance, and full replacements. They send out technicians, not salespeople. They're trying to build long-lasting customer relationships that hold up over time. Chris Myers is just a great guy. He's one of us, big-time fisherman, inshore, offshore. He's absolutely ate up with it, and he's an absolutely great individual. Call 813-657-8818 or look him up online at brandonac.net. Good people, good people.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Fishy guy too.
Yeah. So you sell most of the push poles go to the Keys.
Orlando South.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd probably say 75% from Orlando South, and then probably 60% of that from Miami South. So a lot of push poles. In South
And there's
Florida.
still some. I mean, with all the troubles they've had, and this would be a great question for Blair Wiggins when Blair joins us at our Bartow Ford Real Animals Fishing conversation. But how is it in Mosquito Lagoon? Because the lagoon used to be a big push pole place. And I know the grass, we've had some issues over there, but I mean, is it turning the corner
interesting. Anecdotally, I'm kind of looking at where our numbers come and go from. Our service area goes from Key West to Charleston, South Carolina, out to say Destin. That's about as far west as I go. And I kind of have it split into 3 zones. I've kind of call it my north zone, which is that run from here to Charleston, and then my center zone is from say St. Augustine to Fort Pierce, Vero.
Right.
And of all the zones, that's probably next to last. Panhandle is definitely the last. There's not a lot of polling in the Panhandle. There's people that poll up there, but it's not as much. But we just don't see a lot. I don't deliver a lot, and I deliver every one-piece pole we sell. And the most, if somebody wants a multi-piece pole fully assembled, I deliver it too. But I don't deliver a lot from say Mims to Fort Pierce. There's just for some reason there's just not as much of a concentration there.
I wonder why.
I don't know.
I mean, with the Banana River and the
I think there's a lot of trolling motor guys
Indian River,
over there. But I've fished that area a lot on a pole, and I'm not saying there's a lot of people that pole there, but it's in relation to say the Southwest from say the Skyway South. Deliver a lot of poles through there. I was in Boca Grande a couple weeks ago, Cape Coral. It's definitely more prevalent on the West Coast than the East Coast, from my experience, from what I see.
I wonder why that is. Imagine, like I said, it's a good question for Blair or somebody that
somebody that's native to those waters.
Yeah. And when you say every time you say Charleston, I think of Ben Alderman up there.
Oh yeah, Ben's good folks.
Ben, he's good. Super good people and just absolute fishy cat. Yeah. Man, just. I can't wait. I've already got him scheduled, and we'll go up there and fish that flood tide in the skiff, getting that grass from the tailors.
If you've never done it, it's incredible.
I've seen it. I've seen gobs of it on TV and YouTube and stuff. I'm like,
it's more like
God,
hunting than fishing.
It is, yeah.
You see that a lot in Jacksonville.
Sure, Jacksonville's another place that does the flood tide big time.
Sometimes it's actually really hard because the fish are so deep into the grass, and they're
seems like they would spread out a lot too.
They probably do.
They get up in that grass, and there's just so much area for them to move.
And what happens is if you get a guy in Jacksonville, I'll use Terry Lacoste. I mean, Terry Lacoste is a legend. He's like Scott Moore, up in Jacksonville. Or Charleston, you get a guy like Ben. Those guys, they've done it for so long they get a feel for the pathways, for where those fish usually come in and out. And just like everything else, just like Tarpon Key, you know, on a big outgoing tide, on that flood tide, you end up with those little troughs.
You know where they are.
You know, these little runs that hold fish. So, you know, the best of the best are dialed in that way. So it's going to be fun. That little boat has opened so many opportunities. I can't wait.
So many activities.
Yeah. Fickle with the whole thing.
It'll be interesting.
Joe Welbourn.
Why do you give me that look? I think I'm going to say something, don't you?
Yeah, you're a smarty pants.
You'll convert him. You'll convert him.
He gives me this look like he's going to kill me with his eyes.
CarbonMarine.com in the house. If you've got questions or comments, bring them right here. 1-800-969-9352. Derek DeBoe is our main man behind the wall here. His will be the first voice you hear. Light him up. Let's talk fishing. We'll be back.
The preceding program was paid for by Real Animals Fishing.
It's Derek DeBose.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Yeah, he kind of came in all stealthy this morning.
Is he wearing his tracksuit?
I couldn't tell.
Oh, he's got his creep on.
Do you have, are you going back to the shop? You want me to follow you and deliver that pole to your shop?
Truck. No.
You can put that thing on your
I
truck.
put 40, 45, 46 on the roof of that truck.
Really?
Absolutely. I use Yeti straps, Yeti cooler straps, and once I get more than 10, then I'll cross tie it to the front, triangle tie it, tie it to the front corners of the bumpers, and roll. When I started, I had a van with a big rack, and that thing was such a piece of junk. It was loud, it was noisy, it didn't get good gas mileage, it wasn't comfortable, and I was like, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna be comfortable.
Yeah.
And so I'm on my second Forerunner. The first one I put 435,000 miles on it.
What?
Yeah.
400,000 miles?
Oh yeah. Oh, I travel, dude. I run like 50,000, 60,000 miles a year.
Damn.
Yeah. But the push pole business, I got into it kind of on a fluke, but it was real quick to figure out how to win. Delivery and service. Service meaning they break the pole, they need to extend it, they wear it out, they need to refinish it. Stiffy can't do that. They're in Corpus Christi. They just can't do it, And that was the Achilles heel for me. So I just said, if I'm gonna be in this space, I got to do it better than them.
What's that guy's name from Stiffy?
Kevin Shaw.
Kevin Shaw. That's it.
They got a good product. They just had, it's like a guy that makes a flats boat, but he's in Michigan.
Yeah.
You got a good product, but your market's here. So the guy that's here is going to have a strategic advantage.
Sure. Yeah.
But I just strapped it to the reef. It's no big deal.
No biggie.
Hey, what's up? Yeah.
Interesting to me. So interesting to me.
Not to mention inshore is just so much less expense. I mean, it was a buddy of ours boat, it's an older Mako 26 with new twin 200 Suzukis. Just the moving the boat, getting it in and out of the water, the fuel, it's all the safety elements that go into it.
I'll tell you this.
It's exponential.
And again, I love my 26 Contender Bay. I absolutely love it. But it's so easy. That skiff is so easy, dude. You're just like hosing it down. It's so easy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Now, again, last night we kind of ran to Apollo Beach in it. I made a little bit of a run because it was calm. And then I noticed, I'm like, oh, we got to go. It got windy. And it's,
It's a small boat.
It's right. Yeah. It's, I had to
had
ride her just right with the wife and try to keep her dry, and it was a little more challenging, but God, you're just buzzing along in 1.5 feet of water and you just don't care. You're like, well, we're good. Beth's like, you're under 2 feet of water. I'm like, yeah, it don't matter. We're good.
Yeah.
Just cruising right along.
That's crazy.
It's awesome, dude. It's awesome. I am guilty of loving it.
Guilty of loving it.
I am. It's such a cool deal, bro. Yeah, Beth was like, so? I'm like, so what? She goes, do you love it as much as you thought you were gonna? I'm like, yeah. I go, you know how long I've watched? She goes, about 15 years. I've been hearing about this boat. She said, but I was really curious. Okay, he's gonna spend the whole day on it. And you're filming, so it's almost always a long day. She was like, I was anxious to see if after a long day on that boat, if you got off and we're still like, oh yeah. I'm like, I am very much in love with that boat. She goes, well, good.
It gives you more options too. So if you get out in a big boat and something goes wrong, like what are you filming? You know, you're kind of stuck to that game plan, right?
Well, the nice part about the 26 is the 26 only drafts. It's a true 12 to 14 inch
You
big
can
boat.
get back in.
You just got to wait for the tide.
Yeah.
The nice part about having the skiff, which and a lot of guys I filmed with, is like, bro, you know, we're in this bigger boat. Kind of sucks because we got to wait on the tide, and we still catch them. We've been catching up fish in Crystal River there for years. But you know, when he was like, we were going this morning, you know, he was just kind of all lit up, and then you get those fish kind of concentrated in them little depressions because they can't spread all out. I mean, it's just an interesting. It just adds a whole different.
Are you running Florida Marine tracks?
Oh yeah. 100%. 100%.
And don't, my buddy that moved from Key West up there, he's got a Cayman, he's got a Chittum, bigger skiff he tarpon fishes out of. And I was like, Don, run the chip.
Yeah.
He's got it. And he called me one day, he's like, well, I'm broke in now. Sent me a picture. Prop was
buckled.
Just totally destroyed the lower end unit.
Well, and I don't. If you ever watch the shows of me and Crystal River, Homosassa, all that stuff, I don't drive. You know, all these other hosts are like, "Oh, it's my boat. I'm driving." Go ahead. I'm not driving. The dude fishes here every day.
Yeah, exactly.
Why would I drive? I'm no dummy.
So I said,
you
Don,
take the wheel, bro.
On the track, he goes, it's about 50 yards off of it. I was like, you might as well not even run it. Like, if you're going to run up there, you need to be on the track because there's rock out
everywhere.
Big as that coffee cup that'll take you.
There's no doubt. No doubt. Brutal.
Welcome to the Bartow Ford Real Animals Radio Show, your weekly voyage into Florida fishing. Presented by Hubbard's Marina, hosted by Captain Mike Anderson and Captain Dylan Hubbard.
Welcome back, 706 here, the iHeart Media Empire. Joe Welbourn, Carbon Marine, carbonmarine.com. He is the push pole guru. He's our guest here this morning. You've got questions. Phone lines are open, 1-800-969-9352. Remember, if you're looking for a roof, a new roof, or a roof repair, even, shingle, metal, tile, flat roof, doesn't matter. Nobody does it better than Affordable Roofing Systems. They did our boy D. Hubbs' roof, and David Torres and his family have been on my boat many, many times. Great, great family man, great people that you can trust. And to me, that's everything when I'm having work done on my home. So give them a call today at 1-888-397-ROOF for your free estimate, or visit them online at affordableroofingflorida.com. Let's, we're gonna get a safe boating tip, and then we have a Hall of Famer.
Whoa.
Yeah, things got crazy.
It's the star tournament season.
Yes, it just got crazy. We got Hall of Famers, and we have legendary captains like the great Captain Jim Fogel, U.S. Coast Guard Auxiliary, with our Milwaukee Tool Safe Boating Tip of the Week. Jimmy, what's up, buddy?
Good morning. Got several things here, guys.
Come on, talk to me.
Appreciate the time.
Yes, sir.
All right. First of all, over last week, out of Port Canaveral, Coast Guard had to make a rescue on a 23-foot vessel that had become disabled 15 miles off in the Atlantic because the guy's fuel gauge was faulty. So, listen, even if your fuel gauge is bad, if you top it off, if you fill it up, then you can reasonably be safe. So that's one thing to remember. Also, off here, last couple of days ago, Coast Guard had to make a rescue, Coast Guard and FWC, a boat that reportedly became disoriented aboard their 24-foot boat near the Sunshine Skyway. Now, I'm not sure exactly what that means, but, before you take your boat out, get a good idea where you're going. Look at the charts. Look at your GPS. Know what your compass will do and what your GPS will do.
Coppertail Brewing. Real animals catch lager might have had something to do with it.
Yeah, right.
Very possible. That's right. Remember, guys,
Became disoriented.
Yes, we want all captains to remain alcohol-free while on the water.
That's right.
Now, going back to a very sad thing, as we all know or remember, back in 2019, 34 people were killed in a charter boat off of Santa Cruz Island in California when the boat caught fire during the night. The captain, who was the first one to jump overboard and abandon ship, was sentenced to 4 years in prison for criminal negligence.
Wow.
He had failed to have a crewman on watch all night. Everybody was sleeping. This was a very old boat. There was only one entrance and exit to this boat, and sadly, they all died. So this is a reminder to all charter captains. Don't cut corners. Do what you're supposed to do. Bring your people home. You're supposed to bring them home safe.
That's the job.
And for your yes, sir. And for your passengers, think when you get on a boat. Think. Remember, it's just like when you go into a hotel or motel that's got 20 stories and you're up on story number 19 or floor number 19. First thing you look for is where are those stairs, because if it hits the fan, you want to be able to get out of there. So pay attention.
Yep. Good stuff.
Help your own destiny. Yes.
Amen.
Good stuff.
I thought about you yesterday, Captain Jim Fogel. I walked down to Don's dock and we were fueling up this boat, and I'm looking at this boat. I'm like, dude, this guy's rigged out. It's a 23 contender, and he's got bent butt trolling rods. He's got outriggers on it. He's rigged up. I'm like, dude, where are you going? He's like, oh yeah, we're going to the Elbow. I was like, wait, what? Wow. Two guys. And I start looking around at this boat, and it is set up. It is the most rigged out 23 contender I've ever seen. It twin engines, so twin 150 Yamahas. So it definitely not going to break down. And then he's got a fuel bladder. So he had plenty of fuel in the boat, but he also has a bladder to make sure he has the rule of thirds covered. Then he had a ditch bag on the roof with a quick release, a hydrostatic quick release on his ditch bag.
Cool.
And then he had all the life jackets up there. They were wearing automatic deployable life jackets. They had EPIRB. They had the InReach. They had everything stacked up. I was like, wow, all right.
Good.
Never mind. You guys have fun.
Good.
It was pretty impressive.
Yeah. It worries me a little bit that was only 23 feet. But other than that,
they were buddy boating too. So they had another buddy boat going out there.
That always helps.
Excellent. All right. Good job, guys. Whoever they were. Good job.
I was impressed.
Thanks for that report. That's very good. All right, guys. Thanks again, as usual, for the Coast Guard Auxiliary in St. Pete. Jim Fogel, be safe out there.
Thank you, my brother. Great job. Good stuff. Our safe boating tip of the week brought to you by good friends at Milwaukee Tool. Remember, Milwaukee Tool. Go to MilwaukeeTool.com if you're looking for a better, faster, easier way to get it done. Nobody does it better than Milwaukee Tools. Let's check in with our resident Hall of Famer. I can only know one.
The only Hall of Famer.
I only know one.
The only Hall of Fame angler. And it's not the only woman Hall of Fame angler. It's the only Hall of Fame angler. Period.
Right, period. Like, and it's I don't know. It's just incredible.
She's in a
and
league
she
of her
calls
own.
our show.
Mm-hmm.
She calls our show.
Yeah.
So we're
that's because I aspire to be like you guys. You're amazing.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'd like to not be in the Hall of Fame. Come on, nobody says that. We're not in the Hall of Fame. Captain Lisa Fitzgerald joins us.
In everybody else's Hall of Fame, you are. There you go.
6a-8a Florida Star Tournament Director Extraordinaire. We are in season, sister. It's coming on. It's time.
It is. is. You know, all the tagged redfish are in the water, and let me tell you, they must be really, in places where people can find them because they are being caught left and right.
Nice.
I think, so far we've had 4 or 5 tagged redfish caught before the start of the competition, so it shows that they can be caught.
Yeah.
The great news there is that they were released. You can go to the website and see where those fish were caught. Go to our social media. Get registered. The competition begins May the 25th, Memorial Day weekend, and runs through Labor Day, over 100 days of fishing. And the cool thing about that is most tournaments and competitions that you participate in are anywhere from $150 to $450. And this is only $80 to join the Star competition and to be a CCA member. Then you have a shot at $500,000 in prizes.
It's crazy.
It should only be $40 to join the tournament, too.
Because you should already be a CCA member.
It is. It's $40 if you're already a CCA member.
Right.
So it is only $40.
Right. So if it's $80, you're doing something wrong.
That means you weren't a CCA member when you decided to get into the competition. So $80, we make you a member for a year. So that is
cool.
the cool thing.
Yeah.
The thing people forget, we talk so much about the tagged redfish, but you forget that any fish that you catch over the summer can be entered in the competition. In the inshore division, that's any inshore species, and you have a shot at a brand new Carolina skip. I mean, there is 12 places paid out. It's a new format now. We don't have divisions. What we did was combined all the divisions and then added more species to inshore. So if you catch a flounder, a sheep's head, any of the inshore species, you can enter that in the inshore division. With the offshore division, and you were just talking about that guy that goes offshore, the offshore division is a 250 Yamaha, and it's all random draw. So any offshore species you catch an amberjack, a wahoo, sailfish, any offshore species, and you can enter it in the offshore division. So random draw again. And then we have my favorite, the Youth Scholarship Division presented by Yamaha and presented by Real Free Fishing. $100,000. You get your kids fishing over the summer, and they have, 2 $25,000 scholarships and 10 $5,000 scholarships. We'll round out this year 10 years of competition at $1 million that we will have awarded to youth.
That's great.
That's awesome.
Well, and just real quick, I get into this from time to time because people ask me, "What did CCA Florida do? What do they do?" Last year, my Real Animals Junior Pro staff, we had our summer tournament awards ceremony. I posted the pictures. Brian Gorski from CCA Florida saw them, called me, said, "Hey, I want to get involved. Let's have a meeting and chat." I got on the phone with him, and he was like, "You know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing youth scholarship money. We now have $5,000 coming from CCA Florida to the Real Animals Junior Pro staff kids in scholarship money." I mean, that's giving back. That's taking your money that they're using to help your estuary and then giving it back to our kids who are into fishing, who are going to be the future of this sport. To me, it doesn't get any better than that. I mean, there's just so many you're going to be fishing anyway, people. I've been saying this for years, for 10 years now, actually. You're going to be fishing anyway for 101 days. Why not give yourself the chance to win some of this cool stuff? I had a dude on my boat caught a trout and won a boat. He won a boat catching a trout. I want to take a picture of that trout. I don't have one of the CCA Star Tournament yet. Then, boom, I show up at the banquet. There he is, sitting at my table. I'm like, "What are you doing here?" He's like, "Yeah, remember that trout?" I'm like, "Yeah." He goes, "We won a boat."
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
crazy.
It's easy.
Insane.
It's fun.
Super easy.
It's just taking pictures and practicing catch and release. I know everybody, and I don't even want to get on the subject, but everybody's complaining about our grouper situation. And yes, it is tragic, and yes, there has to be some changes. But think about this. Now, with your grouper, you may not take it home and eat it, but take a picture of it and submit it in the star competition. And instead of eating your grouper, you just want a brand new 250 Yamaha motor.
Doesn't get anybody. Tell everybody how they can get signed up, Lisa.
Yes, you can go to CCAFLSTAR.com. Get yourself registered. Give us a call over the phone, 844-387-7827. We can register you right over the phone. Very simple process. And gosh, it's, you said it one time, don't be a knothead and not get registered.
Not get registered, exactly.
And not get registered, or not be registered when you catch that tag.
Dude, there cannot be any worse feeling on the planet than you catch a tagged redfish that could have won you a boat and you're not in.
I'm just thinking about it. Think
Horrible.
about those people that have caught the tagged redfish before the tournament started. They could be registered. They just caught it too early, and that's a pretty bad feeling.
That would be bad too.
Yeah.
But at least they're registered.
Yeah,
At
not
least
quite
they know
as
that,
bad,
but
it's up there.
Guys, remember, they release those fish.
That's right.
They know where those fish are.
That's right.
They can go back after the tournament
released
starts
it right in a bait
and
pen.
fish that area. But that polygraph examination catches you every time.
The first truck, CCA Florida Star Tournament, the first truck that was given away. Was that redfish was caught in Tampa Bay.
Nice.
I was on a flat catching redfish when Rick Murphy was coming down the same bar, pre-fishing for a tournament, and caught a tagged redfish in Tampa Bay.
Nice.
That trout that won that dude a boat on my boat, that was in Tampa Bay. Again, dude, this can happen anywhere. Anywhere. It's real simple.
Know.
Yeah, it's the best. CCA Florida Star Tournament. Get signed up. Lisa Fitzgerald, we appreciate you, my friend. Great job.
Yep. See you out there.
All right, tell Lo we said hey. All right.
Bye-bye.
She is the best. The Hall of Famer, Captain Lisa Fitzgerald. Joe Welbourn, Carbon Marine, carbonmarine.com, in studio with us here this morning. Right, these phone lines up, 1-800-969-9352. We'll be back. I don't think I've done it a handful of times in 15 years, but I gave out the wrong phone number with Momola.
Oh, nice. You gave out DAE instead of this?
I gave out the FLA number on DAE.
Nice.
I'm like, shit, first one in the morning. I'm like, I could see him shaking his head. I'm like, I just gave out the wrong number, didn't I? He was like, yeah. Like,
classic.
Yeah, it happens. Not very often, but it happens. Yeah, good stuff. She's cool. You know Lisa, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
She's cool.
Been doing it a long time.
I was going to say, yeah, you've been doing this a long time. You know everybody.
I remember when they started it all.
Yeah.
After a while, it kind of
blends together.
You're like, wait a minute, what?
10 years. I can't believe it's been 10 years. Of course, I can't believe I've been doing TV for 18 and radio for 22.
You did radio before.
Yeah, 22. 22 years here and then radio for 18. Or TV for 18, radio for 22. Too many.
So the advantage of inshore versus offshore is when shit goes wrong, you can just get out and walk back to your truck.
Yeah, that's a fact.
That is an advantage.
I got huge respect for you guys that take some of the people you get on the boat. They don't even know. They don't know shit. You get out there and
I have my buddy Joe from I play a lot of slow pitch softball, and Joe's a sales rep for one of the bat companies from Canada. His son was in town, so he texted me. He's like, "Hey, take me fishing when my son's gonna be in town." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm booked that day, but I'll get you with Lee Plick." So I get Lee. We go out to the Kingfish, to the parking lot. We're sitting out there, and he sits up right next to us. We start catching fish, and I look over. He's got the reel upside down. I'm like, "Joe,
turn it over."
Lee looks back. He's like, "Oh boy." I'm like, "Yeah." So it was pretty funny.
Mike's like, "This is why I didn't take him."
Yeah. Super nice people. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm out on this." You get my aqua traction put on today.
I talked to Michael.
Yeah.
Mike, right? Yeah, I talked to super nice guy.
Yeah.
He's definitely going to help me out.
Is he good?
Yeah, I'm going to send him over. I meant to send him yesterday, and I got distracted.
On the skiff? You're putting it on the skiff?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that going to weigh it down?
He's messing with you, man.
Oh, yeah, always. You're catching on now.
Oh, man.
It's his MO.
Actually, it's so light, it's like helium. It lifts it.
Well, it makes it more displays less.
Oh,
It does make it quieter.
We should have asked her. I don't know when the measuring device will be available. Donald, I would assume soon. The measuring devices have to be here soon because
We haven't gotten them in the mail yet.
yeah, it's May
Yeah.
and it opens Memorial Day weekend. So
Gotta be soon.
yeah, gotta be soon. So you're gone next Saturday,
This coming Saturday, yeah.
and then I'm gone the following Saturday, and then the following Saturday is Memorial Day weekend.
Okay.
Do you want to do the show Memorial Day weekend, or do you want to? Because I won't be here. I'll be in New York. I'm filming Striper in New York City the Tuesday after Memorial Day. So Beth and I are going a couple days early because I've never been there.
Well, that's going to be interesting. I don't have anything going on, so I can do it.
I mean, it's up to you. We won't do Sunday, I'm sure. But if you want to do Saturday, that's up to
Yeah,
you.
there's no reason not to do Saturday.
Okay.
That'll be a busy day. Everybody should be going
Well,
out on the boat.
the CCA Florida Star Tournament kicks off.
Yeah, we'll do it.
But it don't matter to me if you don't want to do it. I won't be here, so I don't care. I get it.
So you just leave it open air, or you plug it?
No,
back?
they do an old show.
An old show.
Yeah, run the commercials and all that. People that didn't catch that show can still listen.
I'll do it.
Okay. Yeah, we played
My
ball.
wife's not awake. She's not listening to this. So
We
we're
played.
good.
We played ball in Cape Coral. I got a tarpon tournament on Friday at South Seas. Then I MC the awards, and then I'm playing ball in Lee County, 18th and 19th. Ooh. Welcome back, 7:25
here at the iHeartMedia Empire. Again, Joe Welbourn, Carbon Marine, carbonmarine.com. He is the push-pull guru here in the state of Florida, for sure, in the southeastern United States. So if you got questions or comments, or if you're looking for a push-pull or have questions, reach out to them during the week anytime. Super good people. Again, been in business a long time, doing it the right way. Don't forget, Tuesday, May 14th, 6 to 8 p.m., you want to be at Bartow Ford for the Bartow Ford Real Animals Fishing Conversation. The Mogan Man, Captain Blair Wiggins, will be my guest. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be a really, really good one. Our good friend Dana out at Silver Ring Cafe there in Riverview, serving up the Cuban stuffed potatoes. Maybe the devil crab. You never know.
Oh, they'll be there.
Oh, they'll be there.
I'm so excited.
Silver Ring Cafe, always good groceries. So we're going to eat well. Bull Bay rods, we got a couple of those to give away. We got Engel coolers to give away. We got Real Animal swag to give away. Make sure you show up at Bartow Ford and listen to the Mogan Man preach it. 25 years fishing all over the country with addictive fishing, and now Blair Wiggins Outdoors. So it's going to be a good one. He is a character, to say the least. So if you've never had the opportunity to come meet him, he's super personable, great guy, been a friend of mine for many, many, many years. It'll be a fun one. I'm looking forward to this one. Blair and I don't get to do events together all the time, so it's kind of cool.
He's a great speaker.
Yeah, a very good speaker. Just and just super knowledgeable. Part of the Bull Bay Rods pro staff. So we're going to be talking a little bit about his favorite Bull Bay rods and why he likes them and different applications and all that stuff. So it'll be a good opportunity to learn some stuff. If we've only got a couple minutes here before the bottom of the hour, but if you had to pick one guy, and this is, I know it's hard because there's a lot of great ones, but if there's one total push-pull guru that you've ever met, who would it be?
That's a tough question.
Yeah, I know. I thought it might be.
I think I'd have to say Rob Fordyce.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dustin Huff's right up there with him too.
Okay.
Rob's one time when he first got the Carbon Marine one-piece push-pull, I'm sitting in my chair. It's probably 8:30, 9 o'clock. It might not have been that late. And I'm getting these text messages, and I reckon the number was the Keys, or Miami, South Florida number, right? And I was like, who is this? And he said, it's Rob. But he's like, man, this push-pull. He's like, I had it so bent, I was expecting it to explode any minute. Like, this thing's amazing. And it just, went on, and then I see him in person. He's like, I pole more than I walk.
Yeah, he does too.
And so the runner-up to that would probably be Flip Pallet.
Okay.
Flip.
I was wondering if Flip would be up.
Well,
there.
and I think there's there's a
there is.
incestuous relationship there
for
because
sure.
Rob
They're
grew
tight.
up with Flip.
Yeah.
They hunt together, they fish together.
Yeah.
But Flip is on a whole new level. If you ever want to get a good chuckle, watch the footage where Flip installed a wood foot on C.A. Richardson's Carbon Marine, brand new Carbon Marine push pole, and he was cutting it with a chainsaw, and it didn't. I think there might have been some frigate involved somewhere in that process, but it didn't quite go the way Flip thought it was going to go. But yeah, he's up there too. I mean, I think he'd prefer to pole over any other means of propulsion.
Yeah, for sure. It's crazy, man. Those guys are so good at that.
It's almost like a religion.
If you're pulling around, though, you're pulling around to put someone else on fish, right?
No.
Not always.
No. I fish a lot alone poling.
Yeah. A lot of guys do. C8, deadly from up on his polling platform.
Yeah.
Because those guys have such great eyes.
So what do you do with your I'm confused because you've got a push pole in your hand. You're controlling the boat. What do you rest it on something or put it down and then start casting?
That's a great question. I just
feel
had
like I only got two hands here.
But hold on, that's a great question. I want you to answer that on the other side.
Oh,
we should talk. Yeah, we're running out of time, but that's a great question. So, 1-800-969-9352. It's really a good question. It's one that I'm going to need to know too. I'm calling my big old butt up on that bowling platform. So, we'll be back. 970 WFLA.
You guys will appreciate this. I'm definitely going to say it in public. So, guy calls. He's like, "Hey, I've had one of your stripping buckets, and it got left out in the sun. It's HDPE. It cracks. They get brittle. They crack." He's like, "We'll buy a new one." I was like, "Okay." And I could tell the guys knew what he was talking about, and you can get a sense for people when you talk to them, right? So all of a sudden, I said, "Okay, can I just give you my order over the phone?" I was like, "Yeah, sure. Let me get back to my office." I was outside the shop working. So, yeah, my name's Andres Van Hool.
Oh.
You know who they are?
I do not.
The godfathers of sugar industry.
Oh. The mafia.
Yes. I spoke to him. It was like I was so conflicted. I'm like, his address was like, email address like abf@fcsugar.com, and he's like, "Yeah, I keep one on my 21-foot Chitham and one on my 18-foot Chitham. Both sit on my sports yacht." And I was like, "Hey, two sides of the sun." I was look, at this stage, just got to be cordial,
Of course.
But I said all that to set the context. He's like, that adjustable bucket's amazing because I fish a lot by myself. I pull it all the way up. I stand on the polling platform, and now my bucket is right at my feet, and I can strip into it, and the line doesn't go in the bills or the cockpit or the hatches or anything else. It's seat, back braces. And people will post it up, so they'll get everything ready and have the rod sitting in there because you're polling either to this side or to this side. Your pole can't be in front of you because your body's in there. So then when you see something, you take the pole, and I put one of those wire noodles, for managing the extension cords and stuff.
Yeah.
I run it through my belt, so when I want to park the pole, I just grab it, I wrap it, pull the rod out, and cast. So there's a couple of real quick, easy techniques for doing that. Or another technique.
Wire management.
Yeah, line management.
Wire and line management.
And push pole management.
Before you climb up on that pulling platform, you have to have everything in arm's reach.
That's right. Yeah.
Specialized rod holders, I guess.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, you typically won't see rod holders on a fly fishing skiff because they're line hooks. The line will get fouled on. You ever look at a rod holder, the shaft comes out, hook at the bottom, hook at the top. And fly line, you find a way to make a figure eight.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just incredible how fast stuff gets tangled on the skiff. Hence why you have to have the buckets to capture the line.
Well, Full Bay Rods is making fly rods now too. I just got some reels and just got them lined up.
And they were making some a while back. Is Rick Hess still?
Yeah, Rick's still there. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're still working with the handicap.
He's had a tough road of life, man. He's had a tough road. I can remember back when he was with Coffee and Coffee. Shit, that was probably 15 years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, he was available, and I told Kelly when I'm like, man, you want to hire him because he just knew so much more about
Did he shut his tackle shop down? Didn't he have his tackle shop?
Yeah, he did. He doesn't do that anymore. Yeah.
So
So what is this adjustable bucket? So you can make it taller?
Yeah, exactly. So you're a tall guy. He's a tall guy. I'm a short guy. So if you're a captain, you might have a guy like me one day. You might have a guy like you one day. But if you've got a static bucket, and if it's too tall, I can't fish it. If it's too short, you're going to struggle because the distance between where your strip stops and dropping it. So I stumbled across I invented that because I had like 70 SKUs of different diameters and different height statics, and I never had the right one in stock. So I wanted a selfish way to get 70 SKUs down to 2. So I looked at the most popular bases, 14 for bay boats, 12 diameter, 12 for skiffs. And then
that's how it works.
Yeah, and I just figured out how to get enough friction.
So
we run our own CNC machines.
As you're stripping it, you're just dropping it in the bucket.
Just drop it in the bucket, and it isolates it out of the wind column.
Keeps it, nice and neat.
Well, and the other technique is if you're albie fishing, like we get an albie run here once in a while.
Yeah.
And up north, stripers, you're fishing the birds, or like tuna offshore.
Right.
You're fishing the birds. So you set all your gear up, one on the bow, one in the back. You watch the birds. We did this in Lake Lanier for striper. You go for the birds because the birds can see the bait. The stripers are underneath the bait. Same thing offshore. And as soon as you get to position, we call it run and gun.
Right.
You get to position, you pull the fly rod out and cast because you've already got everything pre-set up. But you can't run if that line is out loose because it fucking blows out of the boat, falls off the boat, gets lost, gets tangled.
That's pretty crazy.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And we sell a lot of them, man. Oh my God. So.
I'm sure.
Adjustable buckets.
That's very cool.
What are fish squares?
EVA foam that was trash going into the trash can, and I was like, not on my watch. I have to buy it by the sheet, and I'm only getting 60% utilization. So I started making small fish-shaped silhouettes and little squares out of the scrap to keep them throwing it away, and they monetized. People buy them.
How big are
parking
these?
hooks. The fish squares are like 6x6, and the fish sticks are, depending on the species, are like 13, 14 inches long. But the idea came out of, I'm not a tree hugger, but I don't like wasting money either.
Yeah.
So if I can take something I'm throwing away and put it into
And
a
people
revenue
just
stream.
stick them on things like bumper
Stick it
stickers?
on their coolers, stick it on their undergunnels. A lot of skiffs don't have the rod storage is challenging because it's literally right against the liner, it's right against the hull itself, so they get beat up. So they'll stick them there. They're vanity stickers. They'll put them on their cars. The guys that are really fly fishing is kind of cultish, kind of like golf. They get really into it, so they park their flies on them or just use them as a vanity.
Oh, park your flies on them. You mean stick the hook through it?
Yeah, because you want to rinse your flies off after you use them because the salt will collect. I got a story about that too. The salt will collect on the material and it'll put a nick. It'll put a tiny rust spot in the bit of the hook. I lost a big tarpon in the river.
Oh, wow.
And the hook breaks.
Dylan Hubbard.
Welcome back. Relentless Perpetual Edge Knives, the world's first self-sharpening knife that sharpens as it cuts. Ultra-hard carbide, never rust, titanium blade, true grit, glass, reinforced ABS handle on a knife that is perfectly balanced. Comes in 5 great models to choose from. Go to relentlessknivesusa.com. Take the work out of filleting a pile of fish and get your Relentless Knives today. So I want to go back to this because I think this is interesting. We got Steve in Seminole. We're going to come to you here shortly, Steve. So Dylan makes a good point. You have a skiff. You're out by yourself. You're up on the pulling platform, just looking around, push pulling. You see a fish. How do you handle that situation?
Yeah, so classically what you would do, you stage everything before. So if I know I'm going out fishing by myself, one of the tips I have, I don't remember the product name, but it's basically it's a foam coated piece of stiff like solid core copper wire, and it's not sharp. And I take that and I just run it through my belt, and now I've got this little tag in that hangs down, and then I'll put my line hut, adjustable line hut, Carbon Marine, we make them, and pull it all the way up high, so it's about 38, 39 inches, and I set it on the deck right in front of the polling platform, and you get in, you pull your line, you're polling, and your fly rod is line's pre-pulled and sitting in the line hut, so the rod's sitting right in front of you.
He's further complicating this because I was thinking about just using a spinning rod.
I was too.
Like a
now
normal
he's
person.
fly fishing. I thought same thing.
Yeah.
Well, so I'm going to transition to that.
Let's talk to the layman.
All right. So the idea is
pulling a technical skiff with a fly rod.
Yeah. So the idea is you have everything you need at your grip. That's a little. You can do the same thing with a spinning rod, but you wouldn't have the fly line bucket. So what you would do in that case, a lot of guys will slide the rod through the front of their belt. So, the rod's kind of in front of you because when you're polling, the pole's either the left side or the right side. It's never going to be in front of you. Or some of them
you
will.
Need specialized shorts, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. CA does that. You'll see, if you watch CA, you'll see a rod stuck in the back of his pants. So that's kind of the easy way to do it. And then there's guys that'll just set the rod on the platform under their feet. The problem with that is you got to bend down and pick it up. You take your eyes off the fish. I like to have the rod either stuck in my belt. And then there's a couple of gadgets out there that you can buy that'll hold a spinning rod. Or if you have a boat with the rod holders on the polling platform.
I was going to say, wouldn't it be smart to just put a couple rod holders?
Yeah, but the challenge with that is you want mobility. You want to be able to swing that pole around because you may.
Without having to move the rod.
Exactly. Yeah. You're going to intercept the rod. That's why I keep the rod horizontal. So you'll notice some skiffs have metal tubes under the polling platform for a grab bar. Some guys will use that as a rod holder. They'll slide the rod into that tube pointing forward so it's outside of the pole, but still easy to get to.
Very interesting.
So confused.
We're learning stuff.
Yeah.
we're in
the hardest part of that technique is if you're polling in high current or high wind conditions, you need to be able to stop the boat. My number one choice, I got a small skiff, I use the Power Pole Micro. You can push the button. The micro is really quiet. It'll pin you on the spot. If you don't have a micro in your no situations, I pole tip first. So I favor using the tip on softer bottom because as you're polling, that tip will go in, you'll build up resistance, and now you can do what I call a soft stop by just walking yourself up the pole to disperse the energy that your boat has moving forward, then tie off, and now you can stop the boat without causing a bow wave or a pressure wave quietly and still make your cast.
I have a power pole.
Yes,
I have a little Sportsman on mine. I don't have the micro. I have a little Sportsman, which is a little heavier, but to me, it's a no-brainer. I'm not living without that. It just can't happen. I have a power pole move on the front of mine too because I'm not going without the trolling motor either. Yeah, just in case. Yeah. I have a casting platform on the front of the boat. We can just power pole down the shoreline. It's all good. Yes. You starting to put the picture together now?
Yes.
Okay. Good.
You're over-prepared.
I'm trying to be
proper preparation.
I'm trying. Let's go to Steve in Seminole. Steve, how are you this morning? What you got for us?
Hey guys, good morning. I have a question related to a little bit of boat repair. I have a 21-foot sea hunt skiff in the back, jump seat, starboard and forward. They fold down to make a level casting deck, which is great. But over the years, the seats that you stand on, the backrest, when you fold them down, the bolts have pulled out of the starboard material. And I try to fix everything myself, but this might be a little bit much for me. Just wondering if you guys may know anyone local or kind of local that I could give a call to and see if they could help me out. I went to the guys on Bay Pines that sell sea hunts. And
Marine.
They directed me. Yes, sir. They directed me to Carolina Cushions, which I called them, but, man, they're rough to get hold of.
Really?
Yeah, they sent me an email, and they asked me what I needed, and I got back with them. I said, how do I pay for it, deposit, and crickets. So I don't know if they maybe went on vacation or they're fishing. I don't know. So,
that was going to be my answer was going to be I would talk to Pro Marine because I guarantee you they know someone. You know what you might want to do is you might want to ring Pro Marine again and let them know because I'll bet there's an alternative. There's somebody else probably that does it. I don't know who it is off the top of my head, but and Pro will probably know who that is. They might have just preferred to send you there, but if they're not going to answer, then you got to give somebody else a shot at the business.
Yeah, that's what I'll do. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate your help. I love the show, and I listen to it all the time.
Hey, I appreciate you very much. I wish I had a better, quicker answer for you, but I send all my boat stuff to either Mahoney's. You might want to call Mahoney's, too, because Mahoney's might know somebody that could fix that as well. Yeah. I mean, they cover a lot of different stuff at T. Mahoney Company, so, and I know you're in Seminole, but, just call up there and talk to Doug. Doug is really knowledgeable on a lot of different stuff, especially when it comes to repairing boats from top to bottom, trailers and all that stuff, obviously. But, try Mahoney's as well. They might have somebody in Hillsborough that's really good at it, too.
Awesome, sir. Thank you, guys. I appreciate your advice.
Hey, we appreciate you listening, bro. Thank you. Good stuff. Good call. Interesting. I wish I had a quicker answer, but I don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I know people in the fishing industry are not great with emails.
No, I'm not.
I'm not good with
the whole marine upholstery industry in Tampa Bay has shrunk dramatically. One of the guys in the building next door to me, his family started 35 years ago. They sold the business, and then that guy just flat out retired. And the son is still doing boat upholstery in Tampa, but I think he's like the only guy that I know of. I think Seymour Canvas, and it's just not a lot. There's just not a lot of people doing upholstery for.
And they're very specialized. That's what I find. It's like we have an ice and glass guy, and then we have an upholstery guy who can do our benches and our bunks, and then you have a different guy that can actually do seats. So they all have their own
little niche.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's interesting.
So I was thinking about this, and I don't know where I saw it or what. I thought there was a way to hold your push pole by something on your belt.
There is. So there was a company. I don't know if they're still in business or not. They may still be, but I'll tell you the strengths. Everything's about trade-offs, right? You're always you want the advantage of something and avoid the disadvantage.
Sure.
So there was a company called Polecat. I think they were out of South Florida, and they made like an ABS molded plastic clip that had slots in it so you could put it on your belt. The problem with that clip and why I use the wire instead is once you put that in your clip, it becomes a static system and you can't move because now the pole is locked to your hip, and when you try to rotate or twist, it'll either pop out of the clip or you got to move the whole pole. With that little wire trip that I was telling you about, you wrap that wire, and now you can spin, and the wire is on the vertical axis, and the pole stays put, and you can still move around. Okay. That's why I use the little piece of wire. I think they're made for like managing extension cord or something. You buy them at Home Depot. I forget what it's called.
Right.
They're inexpensive.
I know which one you're talking about.
Yeah, and it's just flexible. It's strong enough, and the material's so grippy that when you just do a quick double wrap on the pole, you don't have to tie a knot. You can do it with one hand, and the pole can't slide or come out. That's kind of what I've learned to use.
How long a one do you buy? Because they come
like
in different
10 or 12
lengths,
inches.
don't they?
Yeah, like 10 or 12 inches. You don't need
just
much.
wrap part of it around your belt?
Yeah, just do like
it's got to be
like a
the
lash.
hot pink one, though, Mike.
I like hot pink.
Yeah.
I get it.
Just making sure.
Okay.
Just making sure we're on the same page.
Yeah, for sure.
And then there's also a clip that Tibor, Ted Jurassic down at Tibor Reels, they make it's called the push pole caddy, and it pivots this way, horizontally and vertically, and rotates, and you mount it to the polling platform. So you can put it on a polling platform. So now, I'm a short guy. I got to climb up to my platform. So I'll take my pole out of the push pole holders, put it in the Tibor caddy, then climb up and get situated and then reach down and pop it out. Or if I'm going to cross a deep water canal or something under power, I can just leave it in that clip without having to put it all the way.
Push pole caddy.
Push pole caddy by Tibor.
I'm going to need one of those.
Yeah. We sell a lot.
I don't need to be hanging on to the push pole and trying to climb up.
No.
At the same time. That's a bad plan.
Should be filmed.
Once I get up there, I'll be fine. But let's make sure I get up there first.
Don't you just like step up there?
No, it's
about 3 foot usually.
Yeah, it's pretty high.
Yeah,
maybe you do.
Yeah. Well, the latest fad that's come out probably in the last 5 or 6 years is they put step on the front of the polling platform. So I believe Hal Chittum might have been one of the first guys to do this. Actually, I know he was one of the first guys because I made the steps, but they weren't a part of the platform. It was a separate. We made a carbon fiber step. This is years ago. And then you step up on it, and then you could literally like walking stairs up and down.
Right.
Now, most of the OEMs are integrating the step into a backrest and the polling platform, so it's all one system.
The backrest to me is interesting. It's the one piece of my skiff that I'm trying to figure out in my brain because you're going to lose with where my live well is. You're going to lose access to.
That's why I run a tiller skiff. So I've got a 50 Honda on an 18-foot East Cape Cayman, and that's my second fishing position. And with the tiller, you can't have a lot of stuff there because you got to have access to the tiller, to the motor. So I've opted to not have the step or the backrest. I just stand on the deck.
Interesting.
You've got a very technical way of fishing. This is very complicated. I'm going to keep things much simpler.
I don't know. Hey, if you're in Hillsborough County, you're looking for heating or air conditioning work, nobody does it better than our good friend at Chris Myers at Ace Heating and Cooling. Give them a call today at 813-657-8818 or look them up online at brandonac.net. You can tell the last couple of days that heat's coming. If you need our good friends at Ace Heating and Cooling to take a look at that system before it gets crazy, you better give them a call today. Again, 813-657-8818. We'll be back wrapping things up on the other side. 970 WFLA.
Information about contests on this station. Go to WFLAnews.com/rules.
Jason Richmond, push pulling is hard.
That's what he said?
Yeah.
So just for reference, before I don't lose this thought while we're on break, Shady Gambler, here's the setup. And if you do this, you're going to catch a tarpon on spin or fly. Davis Ramp, Davis Island, 5:30 in the morning. You want to be in position 15-20 minutes before the sun comes up. If the tide's going out, you know where Longshore is off of McDill?
Yeah, of course.
All right, so if the tide's going out, they're going to be on the south side of the bar. If the tide's coming in, they're going to be on the north side of the bar. There's a wash on both sides of that bar. Late July, early September, where you open the door at 5:30 and it's like opening up a clothes dryer, right?
Yeah.
Humid, hot.
Ugly.
It's usually glass calm, like dead calm still. You motor down, get to a couple hundred yards, 200 or 300 yards from that shoal, and you can pole there. It's super shallow, right? And you just, what I do is I just get there and I just turn the motor off and watch. And you'll start to see if it's a full moon. You'll see, God, imagine all these logs in the water. That's tarpon.
Yeah.
They'll just lay up on one side of the bar or the other, just sleeping. And then you pole into it, and then you cast, and you'll wreck shop. You can throw a mirror lure, any hard body mirror lure, DOA terrorize. Fish is really good.
Call me.
Bait.
It's right by my house.
Yeah, dude, anything. But that's where I sent the guy.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite places because I can
great.
be done by 9 o'clock. It's over.
Yeah.
It's done. Sun comes up, they drop.
Well, dude, I can put him right at the alpha and just.
I'll catch people there. I run. I kind of come out of Davis Island. I run down Pendola Point, down by the mounds. We call it the Pyramid Forest, and then back around. And I got a spot over right on the edge of the base on that shoreline. And I just kind of, if I got a day of fishing, I run that circuit. And I'll see somebody sitting up on the spot, and I'll catch them back at the ramp. And I was like, how was it over there? It's kind of a 2-boat spot.
Yeah.
Oh man, we were trout fishing, and damn tarpon wouldn't leave us alone. You know, my wife caught one on the trout.
It's a really good trout. It's a really good trout bar.
Up to Hillsborough Bay. Oh shit, we catch them 10 feet off of the seawall, July to August.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a good trout bar right there. I like all them little fish that get in the river.
Yeah. There's a really good trout bar right there. It's a really good trout fishing.
Yeah.
But you got to deal with the tarpon.
Yeah, well, it's a good problem to
You
have.
got to deal with the tarpon.
It's a good problem to have.
Harry Spear told me about that spot. Harry grew up here. I don't know. You know who Harry is? He's a world-renowned guide. Most winning guide in the Gold Cup. Which is
really?
Like the Wimbledon of fly fishing tournaments in the Keys. He grew up in Tampa.
Okay.
And he said they would paddle that John boat out there off of the bay shore, and they would put cut bait and catfish down. And he's like, they'd have 7 or 8 rods all hooked up with 100-pound plus tarpon there. That's how I found out about it.
I'm gonna have to take the skiff
late
over there.
season classic.
Yeah.
Spot.
Well.
And that little bay coming out of the Alafaya between that most northern spoil island and the pyramid.
Yeah.
I've seen hundreds of tarpon July, August, just dead still laid up.
It's a good redfish flat too.
Yeah, I fish that
That's
a lot.
a really good redfish
Kobe
flat.
too.
John Oliverio fishes that a lot too.
I fish it a lot. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, there's a lot of pompano get on the edge of that bar right there.
That's probably my go-to spot actually anymore
lot of
because there's
people-
not that many.
Nobody
not a lot of
fishes
pressure
it.
over there.
Nobody fishes it.
And water's pretty clean.
Problem over there is now you got to deal with that damn gypsum plant burning whatever they're burning.
Oh,
man,
yeah,
it burns
yeah.
your eyes, man. I tried to go in there the other night with my wife, and it was below.
Dylan Hubbard.
Welcome back. Wrapping things up here again. Tuesday, May 14th. Put it in the book. Bartow Ford doing the Real Animals Fishing Conversation, Silver Ring Cafe, Bull Bay Rods, Ingle Coolers, Real Animals Swag. You don't want to miss that one. It's going to be a super, super good one. Thank you, Joe, for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah, it was
stuff,
fun.
bro. Yeah,
Learned a lot.
Yeah, that was very, very cool. I'm
appreciate
glad.
it.
I've been
Anytime.
poking him, trying to get him in here, and he said he felt like he was going turkey hunting this morning. We got him up.
I had to
so
tell
early.
myself I was going turkey hunting, so I'd get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Actually, I woke up at 3:30, and I was like, man, I can get another 45 minutes worth of sleep.
There you
It's
go.
early. Carbon Marine, carbonmarine.com is the website. He is the guru when it comes to everything push poles. Check out their website, skiff, toys, whatever you need to get it done. He is the man, and good friend of the program, good friend of mine, known for many, many years here. So super, super good stuff. What do you see for weather? Still the same? Has it changed already?
It has not gotten worse since I've been hanging out with you, which is nice.
Give it a few minutes.
Yeah, right, yeah. It's early.
It is.
It's
It is
early.
looking a little sporty potential. Actually, it did get worse. Look at that. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So that cold front a week from today potentially might be a little bit more hefty, but we'll see. We'll see. But that's a week from now. So a lot of times that can change. So really good work week ahead. We've got the new moon coming, so a lot of moving water. Should be really good fishing opportunities there. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Thursday, it's when it potentially might start picking up with some prefrontal activities, so keep an eye out for that. But definitely a big possibility a lot of that can change as those fronts move around. So get out there and go fishing.
Yeah.
Take advantage of it.
Yeah, no doubt. We got the new moon coming up this week. Tarpon bite, the kingfish bite,
Snook bite,
redfish bite. It's all good. Big
Amberjack
trout.
bite.
We got a 24-inch trout this week. I mean, it just
That's a nice trout.
yeah, it's a nice trout for
stud.
Tampa Bay. So it's all happening for sure. Our weather update brought to you by our good friends always at Reese Windows and Doors, Florida's leading window and door company. Over 50 years in business. They offer free installation. Most windows and doors installed in just 6 weeks. Double lifetime warranty. You can't beat it. Visit reesewindows.com for more information.
And don't forget to vote for Hubbard's Marina daily until May 27th. We're in the running again for a third year for best charter boat in the country. And
Nice.
hoping to go back-to-back
Not
winners.
surprised. That'd be nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice back-to-back wins at number one charter boat. But we need your help.
We should get that put on T-shirts. Like
Yeah.
if you win it back to back, we just like taunt people with it.
Yeah, best charter boat in the country.
Ever.
Definitely excited about it. So hopefully we can get your help on the voting. I'll put the link in the thread here in our live stream. So make sure you vote daily.
Yeah.
Need your help.
Good stuff. Want to put a shout out too to our men and women service members both here and abroad who make it possible for us to do all this great free stuff that we get to do here, because freedom is not free. Somebody is paying that price. We love our military, and we thank you guys very, very much for what you do. If you're looking for some great video tips, check out the Real Animals YouTube channel. We've been loading up a bunch of new videos there. So super good stuff. Some of the shows, some of the new shows here, we're a month into season 18 for Real Animals TV. If you're not caught up, you can go to waypointtv.com, W-A-Y, waypointtv.com. Check them out there digitally. You can watch it free on your phone, free on your iPad, free on your computer, whatever you got.
Is the episode where Beth catches the bigger rooster fish than you up yet?
That's not up yet, but it will be soon.
Wondering.
Yeah.
Okay.
The biggest.
Got some editing to do.
65-pound rooster. Yeah.
Ooh, that's a big.
And she continued, dude, I'm telling you that. And the best part about it is God love her. She was like, okay, I don't need to do that again. She
One and
did it.
done.
She closed
Bucket
it.
list checked off.
Yeah.
It's like an amberjack.
I hook one in the episode after. I hook it after her.
That's a
and
much
it was
smaller one?
It was much smaller, but
Okay.
it was still a good one. It was probably a 30, 35 pounder. And as I'm fighting it, she was like, I'm like, this is a pretty good rooster. This might be my biggest rooster. And she was like, how big is it? And I'm like, well, 67 pounds, of course.
Hence the editing.
Yeah, she was like, it better not be.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and of course it wasn't. It was like 35 pounds. So, but yeah, it's good stuff. So, got a couple episodes coming up from our trip to Costa Rica, and we've got some more stuff I'm actually filming going forward here. We got a tarpon tournament down at South Seas coming up. We'll be fishing with Captain Ozzie Fisher. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do a cobia show next week up in Crystal River with Brandon Branch. Mike Biedenbow from Bartow Ford is going to join me. That's going to be a cool trip. And then I'm going striper fishing in New York City.
That will be interesting.
Captain promises me
excited.
a picture of me, my very first striper, and the Statue of Liberty in the background.
Whoa.
That'd be
America.
Cool. Yeah. That'd be awesome. A cool one. That'd be a cool one. Derek DeBose, our man behind the scenes there. Thank you, Serge. Joe Welbourn. Exactly. I appreciate you as well.
Thank you.
Good stuff.
Glad to be here.
But don't forget, if you're too busy to go fishing, you're just too darn busy.
Too darn busy. Big thank you.
Don't
big
forget
shout
to
out.
vote.
Yeah, don't forget to vote. And a big shout out to everybody that joined us on the live stream as well. We appreciate you guys more than you know. Make sure you tune in tomorrow morning, 7 to 9 a.m. Myself, Captain Big Ben Marshall, and Jacob Kent from KO Boatworks is going to join us. We'll have a little more skiff talk tomorrow as well, but it'll be a good one. Mr. Mahoney is in the northern Gulf chasing bluefin tuna, so looking forward to getting a report from him as well. Tight lines, everybody. Catch him out there. Catch him up out there. Be safe. We're out.
The preceding program was paid for by Real Animals Fishing.
Broadcasting live from
The guy who got me into radio years ago, Brad James, he was like, listen, if you all of a sudden look up and the show's over, you can just rest assured it was a good show. If it's dragging for you,
It's dragging for the listener.
it's dragging
10
for the
times.
listener. So that's usually a really good sign. And there was some great conversation. Man, that's some great time.
Thank you, sir.
What up?
Thanks,
How was
Dave.
you this morning?
No,
we missed you.
I saw you. I saw you sneaking in the building, but and I apologize. I didn't give you love right away, but I got around to it. So
Good.
appreciate you.
Okay,
You're out of here.
Yeah, I'm about to get out of here.
Who's running Mathis?
Well, no, I'm running over there, but I gotta. I'm going to the store real quick, get some food.
Be good.
Good to
See
see
you,
you,
dog.
man.
Thanks, partner.
Thank you guys for hanging out and watching. Don't forget to check it out. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow for 7 to 9 a.m. Who's your guest tomorrow, you said?
Jacob Kent from KO Boatworks.
Oh, Jacob's solid.
Yeah, great guy.
Super nice.
Yeah, it's going to be a really cool show with some skiff conversation.
Skiff talk. More skiff talk.
Skinny water stuff.
Skinny stuff.
Skinny.
Well, appreciate it. Definitely
Yeah,
check
thanks
out
for having
Carbon
me.
Marine.
Yeah.
If you're interested in
CarbonMarine.com.
Yeah, some cool. What do they call them? Fish sticks, and then the fish
sticks,
squares.
Fish squares.
So even if you're not into fly fishing and micro skiffs,
Cool stuff.
on
Just
Carbon
cool
Marine.
stuff, people. Yeah, good people too. Good
Thank
people.
you. Thank
Family run business, so it's good stuff.
See you guys. We'll see you next week.
See you tomorrow.
Well, I mean,
Won't be nearly as good a video.